Well, hey everybody, Jeff Sutherland and Courtney Twist. We're on Broker Rehab. Hey Courtney.
Hi Jeff, how you doing?
Fantastic. It's a great week. And this week we have Aimee Burrell, and she's a friend of mine for about 10 years, and she is a local independent broker in the Gilbert area. And she owns a company called Elpis Real Estate Boutique. Is that a cool name, Courtney, or what? I mean,
Yes,
it's
it's
very
very
unique.
cool.
Yeah, I like the boutique piece of it too. She's been operating Elpis since 2013, a boutique by design. So we look forward to hearing about that today. She still actively produces real estate. She's a great agent. I know she is because I've heard people tell me about doing deals with her. Elpis, the word Elpis is Greek for hope. In mythology, that is what remained in Pandora's jar after every hardship escaped into the world. So I want to hear more about that today too, Aimee. And then as far as like one of the things she believes, how she runs her company is she believes in a governing principle. She says brokers should provide the infrastructure so agents can keep their attention to the client. So welcome, Aimee, to Broker Rehab.
Thank you. Thank you.
So nice to have you today. Tell us a little bit about how'd you end up in Phoenix? Tell us a little bit about your background.
So I'm from the Midwest, and I don't know, where are you guys from? Are you?
I'm from the Midwest.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. So I grew up in Ohio, went to school at University of Michigan, went across the border, and after college, my first gig was in consumer food sales. So I actually came out here. I was transferred out here with, my old company, and that's how I landed in Phoenix.
That's awesome. I love Midwestern people because I'm kind of biased. I'm from Indiana. So,
Okay.
where in Michigan did you grow up?
So I actually was born in Toledo, Ohio. So
Oh,
right on the border. Yeah. So
okay.
so
Yeah, yeah.
literally, it's like um, going going to college was like 45 minutes away. It was like driving from Gilbert to Glendale. So
Yeah.
even though it was in a different state, it was almost like being in the same city.
Yeah. That's by Cedar Point, right?
So Toledo is about 45 minutes, I think, from
Okay.
Cedar Point.
Okay.
Yeah, but on the Ohio, like it's in Ohio, Sandusky.
Gotcha.
So
Yep.
you've
Stand
been,
up.
so
Oh,
you
yeah.
being in Indiana, you've been there.
Yeah. I've been there. I've fished there. Um,
Okay.
when I was growing up, by the way, I wanted to be a map maker. I love maps. I study maps. I can read them for hours. But that's, of course, when I grew up, there were actual real maps that you turn the
Oh,
page.
oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I know everything about that area. So,
So wait, let me ask you this. So when you started practicing real estate, you, we had you were practicing when we had the map books, right?
yeah. Yeah.
The
That's
map books.
embarrassing. Yeah, yeah. I started in '01. Yeah, just about the
Yes.
time when we were getting rid of the MLS books and
Right.
such.
Right. Yeah. So
Sure.
speaking of maps, I just had to bring that up. So, so
Over to you,
yeah,
Court.
so yeah, so anyway, so that's what brought me out here. Job transfer.
Nice. So how many years has that been then? You've been in Phoenix a long time
So
now.
I moved here in 98. Yeah, so I've lived here, I mean, longer than any place else. So I don't, my family is still, in all other parts of the country, but this just really feels like home. So,
I would
so yeah,
imagine you've been there a long time, and
yeah.
you know, I mean, you guys would know you're both kind of in that same market. I'm out here in California, but I think we could all agree that there's been a lot of changes in our industry, and you being a veteran broker, what have you seen, or especially like in the Phoenix market? I feel like even that area specifically, how has it been in your area, and how are you navigating this new climate that we're in?
You know what? Here's the thing. I think in any market that you're in, and yes, I've been practicing a long time. Originally when I got my license, I like honestly, I never expected to be sitting here in 2026 as a real estate broker, owning a brokerage. I literally got my license when I moved here because I like having side gigs. Like, I like learning new things. And I literally thought, I'll just get my license. Oh, it's, like a lot of people think it's like, oh, it's easy. I'll just get my license and I will do my own investing and maybe I'll help a few people and it'll be a great retirement gig. So here we are in 2026. But yeah, I moved here in 98, got my real estate license, as I said, to just kind of do this on, as something extra to do in my free time. And here we are, 2026. I think in any market, to answer your question though, in any market, you just have to be prepared to pivot. That's just what I've learned, personally over the years. I've gone through, Jeff, you were in the business when we went from everything being great to everything being not so great. I remember there were agents that in my office at the time that didn't want to pivot, didn't want to shift and learn new things. So being short sales being one of them. It's, I wasn't born knowing how to do a short sale or to sell an REO property, but I learned how to do that. And that's just kind of what I think. It's like in any market, you need to be willing to learn new things, whether it's technology, whether it's a different, learning how to service a different niche, being willing to just be open to doing things a little bit differently.
So how are you pivoting right now? What are you doing right now?
So honestly, learning AI and the tools. So many people are afraid, so many people are afraid that AI is going to take their job. I'm like, it's not going to take, there's always going to be a need for domain experts. And those domain experts that can leverage AI, that's just kind of really where it's at. If you think about it, AI is trained on what's in the public domain. Mm-hmm. So much of the expertise is like between our ears. Mm-hmm. And so those people that can get what's in here and can get it, I call it committed to code, can get it architected into systems and processes. It's just a fun time to be able to be a builder and a creator. I'm super excited about that. Just building really valuable things for our team, for our clients, these bespoke little things that remove friction points and add value. So I am super excited about AI. I'm not one of those people that's afraid of it.
Well, I have to say I'm laughing inside because I love your comment from before our call where you said Claude is your boyfriend, Claude Code.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
That's so great. I think that's just so great. And I agree with everything that you're saying right now, wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we did a class, Courtney did a class recently on how to get seen on AI when people are doing AI searches because, people aren't going into Google anymore. They're going into chat.
Not.
Who's the best agent, in Gilbert?
I met with someone who called me, and when we sat down, I was like, how did you find me? He's like, I asked ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay, all right. I'm going to be more mindful of all of that. But yeah, there are these things that, so much to learn, but, ways to, like your writing needs to change. A lot of things need to change to be ahead of AI search, because it's probably going to get to the point, a big percentage of the search online is going to be AI searching. It's going to be me asking Claude, I need you to go get me this or find out this information. And so I've even heard of people changing their websites to be more Markdown, because Markdown is is basically the language that AIs can easily easily scan. So yeah, I heard somebody saying, yeah, and I think they probably were going to have the website in parallel, probably an easy, being able for AI to easily scrape it, but also probably being, human friendly, if you will, as well.
Yeah, this is good because when you said, we have all this information up here, it's kind of comforting to hear you say that, Aimee, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are intimidated by AI. And I think there's some people that are older agents that are like ready to tap out just because they don't have the energy to learn it all. They are afraid of it. So it's kind of comforting to hear what you said about that.
But, here's the thing that like I'm building tools and systems for the brokerage. So, so those agents, they don't necessarily have to use AI to build the sort of things that I'm building, because I'm building it so they can use it. So, to remove some of the friction from their lives. So for instance, like one of the things that, I'm training Claude on our systems and processes. And so, like, for instance, I've trained it, so agents can literally talk to Claude, and we give a team plan. So we've got a company plan, so every agent gets a Claude account, so we can collaborate. So literally, they can go into Claude and be at a house and dictate, I'm at 321 Main Street. This property has crown molding in bedroom 2. It has, new hot water heater. It has literally just talk to Claude and then hit send. Claude knows where to put all of that information in our CRM, and it does it automatically. And then we use all of that information that's been enriched in our CRM to create marketing copy. So, the marketing copy is created using the information that we get into CRM, and we've trained it in our voice. So while it's not going to be perfect, because we're training it and constantly improving it, it's going to be 80% there. And how much time did that take out of somebody's, it took time and typing out of the whole process. Again, my point of like removing friction and removing minutes. So it's much quicker to voice text something than to write it all down, and then you go back to your office, and then you find the fields, and you type it in. So again, just looking for ways to use AI and automation to just streamline processes to make, our ability to deliver things quicker and easier. So
impressive. I was just thinking for some brokers, who haven't been embracing it as much as you have, how long did it take you to kind of figure out, for this one example, even with your agents dictating and it going to Claude and then automatically go into your CRM? Was that a bit of a ramp up to learn how to do that, or did you literally ask Claude how to do that and then it kind of guided you?
So honestly, I think people don't realize that you can just start with a loose idea. Now, the thing is, you can't be in Claude Chat. You need to be in Claude Code or Cowork, because that gives you the ability, there are other platforms too, Codex, whatever. But you need to have the ability for the AI to do stuff on your behalf and create things. But, I would say I started tinkering with Claude Code maybe December of last year, and just learning it, like watching a ton of tutorials and testing things out. But again, you can start with a loose idea and then you iterate. So it's like I would call it a development partner. You using your domain knowledge and knowing what your pain points are and knowing what you're trying to solve for. So I would say, anybody who's interested, it's like, go on YouTube, start watching some videos. It's like, get a Claude paid plan or, Codex, whatever, and, start tinkering. But again, it's not for everybody. I love this stuff, but I realize it's not for everybody. But, builders, people who aren't interested in building this sort of stuff, you've got people that are going to benefit from it. So
this is so good, Aimee. I'm loving this. What else are you doing? Are you doing anything else besides that? Because that alone, I'm like, ahas are just going off left and right. Anything else you're doing in your brokerage with AI?
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things that I am, and again, I said kind of committing to code. So one of the things that I'm building out, and I'm probably 95% there, is, think about the process that you go through when you go to a listing appointment. You pull comparables, you analyze the market, you then put all of that together in a nice little presentation. In the past, we were using, different tools, but, Canva probably being the one that we were using most. So now I've created a process where, as the expert, I still do all the research. I go in and I choose the competitive set, whether it is the city, the subdivision, the market, whatever I define as the competitive set. I literally export that raw data out of the MLS because we have that ability to do it. I choose my comparables. I export that as a separate file. And then I've created an engine where I've pretty much trained it to build me an HTML presentation that I can then share with the client. So it basically sucks in all the raw data, and I've trained it how to analyze that raw data using my expertise, how I look at a market, what charts, what graphs, all of the things that I would be doing manually. I'm committing to code. I'm training it how to do what I would do as the expert. And then, it renders this beautiful HTML file. I get a link, and then I send the link to my client. We walk through. If we're not meeting in person, we walk through and do a video call, and I can walk through all the numbers. So that's that's one thing. We've also built the other thing that we were doing manually. And again, it's like kind of removing some of the friction and the things that you have to do manually. So we were manually tracking, like, how many Zillow views did you have? How many saves? How many MLS views? All of that sort of stuff. Now we have an engine that does that automatically every Sunday night. We've figured out a way to feed all the raw data into the system, and then we have now a weekly marketing metric report that we can share with clients so they can see all of their metrics. So again, just allowing us to deliver extra value and information to our clients without having to hire somebody to spend an entire, our assistant was spending an entire day going through all the listings and manually pulling all of that information. So those are just, and I'm working on other stuff too, but those are just kind of two examples of things that I think have just really provided value to the brokerage, saved us time, and just also, just providing more information for our clients.
That's so many gold nuggets in one conversation. I can't even.
See, don't ask me anymore because I'm so excited about this stuff. It's I will just keep talking, and you're gonna be zoning out. Like, oh my God, can she shut up already?
No, absolutely not. I'm thinking, what do I want to try next? I might try this as soon as we're done recording.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's like, yeah. So it's fun having, it's some fun being, I'm passionate about real estate. But I'm really passionate about tools and systems and things like that too. And so I'm sure you can tell by my energy around it.
We love it. We love it.
So Aimee, the name Elpis. So how does this go hand in hand with the passion you have around tools and efficiencies, right? It's like I kind of feel like it does. There's connections there.
Well, first of all, let me just tell you the story behind how I named it.
Yeah.
So starting the new brokerage, like 2013, 2014, and it was like sitting down and trying to think about, like, I knew I didn't want the brokerage to be my name. I wanted it to be something bigger, but I had these rules. Like, I wanted it to be simple, like nothing more complicated than I could count on one hand. So it could not be like, 5 letters. It had to be visually appealing, and it had to have meaning, like something that personally to me, that there could be a story behind it. And so anyway, I found Elpis, and, like you said up front in the intro, it's Elpis is the spirit of hope. And the story is Pandora was given this jar. Later it became called a box, but it was given this jar and told, do not open this. And of course, Pandora opened it, and all of the evils of the world like escaped. And so she like frantically tried to close the jar. And the only thing that was left in the jar was Elpis, the spirit of hope. And so I think, Jeff, you know some of my story, like my health challenges and all of that. And I think that I just, especially at that time in my life, or having, gone through a lot, quite honestly, I just, like, the thought of naming my company Hope just gave me a lot of hope, quite honestly. So, yeah, so that's the story behind it. But the funny story is, one of the agents that I was working with that was going to come over with me to my new brokerage when I opened it, I had told her, okay, I found the name. It's Elpis. And so she's like, oh, okay. So she went home that night, and at family dinner, she's saying, oh, Aimee came up with the name. It's Elpis. Well, I guess, like, people didn't hear it. Like, maybe she didn't enunciate it. And it is kind of a word that's a little bit hard to understand initially. But they thought that she said elk piss. So elk, like an elk, piss. And so and they're like, elk piss? What? And so she came back to the office the next day, and she like knocks on my door, and she's like, Aimee, I just wanted to tell you, I don't know about the name, because they couldn't understand it. They thought I was saying elk piss. And I'm like, my heart just dropped. My heart just dropped, and I told my branding lady, like, I think we need to change the name. She's like, walk back off the ledge. This always happens. People, like, don't worry about it. So anyway, I kept the name. So I'm always just very careful to try to enunciate it well, so people don't think it's elk piss.
I thought you were going to say Elvis. I never would have guessed Elvis. There.
Oh, anyway, yeah. So Elpis is the spirit of hope. So, and it makes me smile.
Well,
As it
all right,
should.
Jeff, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you go ahead.
You brought up, with the hope and your journey with your health, and it sounds like that's a really big passion to you, is health and wellness. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, for your listeners who don't know, I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 33, And because it was an aggressive cancer, even though they caught it very early, it was aggressive. It's like I had to do all the things. So surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, all of that. And even after that, and I'm not quite sure if it was necessarily, remnants of kind of the cancer therapy. I struggled with chronic pain for a very long time. And so kind of went through that whole kind of health thing, if you will. And I just remember at one point, I just was like, I want to get my pre-cancer body back. Like, I am looking at myself and I am seeing someone who is sick, who not necessarily, I wasn't sick anymore, but it's like, I want to get healthy. And so at that time, I started doing a lot of research on like whole food, eating a whole foods plant-based diet. And so did a ton of research on it. And then I remember one year, Christmas Day, I had been doing the research all fall, tons of books. And I knew I wanted to try this. And Christmas Day, I woke up and I said, you know what, today's the day. Because if I'm really making a life change, it doesn't matter what day it is. Because it's like whether and I went vegan. So I'm like, you know what, Christmas Day, I went vegan. And I just made it work. And so that was one of the things that just, and I'm no longer vegan. I call myself segan. So I eat things from the sea, and I eat mostly plant-based. But yeah, I mean, wanting to just get back to health really inspired me to start looking at everything from, what I put in my body in terms of food and nutrients, and then also getting back to exercising. And so it's again, like I said, I'm not vegan anymore, but that was kind of what prompted it, if you will. So, and I think too, like, just to kind of expand a little bit, it's like, I think also some of my passion around just efficiency and removing what I call like all the little friction points in your life and simplifying your life, making things easier and faster and more predictable, I think really comes from, like, I've had 2 cancer diagnoses. Is that how you say it? Anyway, I've had 2. And so for me, it's like, it's taught me, like, life is so fragile. Like, you just don't know. And so I want to get every minute that I can. I want to allocate every minute that I can doing things that I love. And all those things that are, that we have to do, I want to do them quicker. Because every minute I save, I get to go and do the fun things, whether it's learning something new, whether it's traveling, whatever. So, I think that's part of my passion for efficiency, if you will, and removing the friction. We all would love to have more time in our life to do the things that we want to do. So.
Amen. Amen. Yeah. And I think so many people in our industry, not just brokers, but realtors, we put our own wellness on the back burner, and we're just in the grind all the time, and until you just completely burn out. And I'm sure we've all have been there at some point in our career.
I remember talking with an agent one day, and she was, we were doing a cross sale, and there was something like her client, she had planned to go away for the weekend and spend her time with her family. And her client couldn't do the final walkthrough on, that Friday or whatever, and she was supposed to leave. They needed to do it over the weekend. She had no backup. She had no one to cover for her. She canceled her trip. And I just remember thinking, it's like, I never want to be in a position like we, like as a team, it's like we always, we always check before we schedule vacations. It's like, who has coverage? Because our clients need to be served, but we also need to refuel, and we need the opportunity to be able to have fun and spend time with our families. So I just remember I was like, oh my God, I feel so sad. Like, I wish you had somebody to cover for you, because you shouldn't have to not spend time with your family.
Right.
So yeah, but some of that's about, choices that we make individually. So,
I've watched your journey, Aimee, and I have to say I've absolutely been inspired by you. It's I really look up to you. I really mean it. I read everything you put out there, and it's pretty amazing. It's well thought out. So I just want to say thank you for that, because you're such a gift to so many people. And I want to ask you, like, when you were going through that journey, what did you learn about yourself?
Okay. So here's the thing. I always thought that if you were perfect, I had perfectionist syndrome. And I think, I thought that if you're perfect, you do all the right things. You go to the right school. You get the right job. You live in the right, you do all those things, that somehow you got a pass on some of the hard things. That life would go well if you were perfect and you did all of these things. And then I got cancer at 33. And I'm like, WTF? Like, literally, what the hell? Like literally, I wasted all this time trying to be perfect and striving and all of this, and I get this. And so that was part of just my understanding that, like, life is just life. It's lifey. Good and bad happens to all people. It's, so not to say, and so anyway, it just kind of reframed things in my mind. It's like, you know what? First of all, there is no being perfect. It's, we strive for optimal. We strive, we strive. I strive. I want to do a good job. I want to be, I want to do good things. I want to be a good person, all of that stuff. But I don't have to be perfect. And somehow those hardships helped me get to that realization.
Wow.
So, anyhow.
We learned a lot
Great.
today.
Yeah, this is what a blessing. When we hear your story and everything, it sounds like you got everything put together. And so my last question is there anything that, like, keeps you up at night, or any pain points in your business? This whole thing here is about helping other leaders and agents grow. So is there anything that, like, is a sticking point you're trying to work through right now?
Honestly, personally, it's just more about having enough time to just get all my ideas out of my head, and again, committed to code. So I don't know, that's very personal to me and where I'm at in my journey, and as a broker, because I have a lot of things that I want to build as agent tools, etc. And so really just not having all of it, because I still practice. And so anyway, it's just time right now. It's time.
Yeah, because what I'm hearing today is you're very, like, passionate about the consumer experience.
Absolutely.
You're passionate about giving your agents the tools to deliver a white glove experience. Right. So you're probably thinking, okay, there's all these things I can do out there. What do I really focus on? Do I have enough time to do all of it? Because you've got a little bit of that perfectionist mentality going on. Yeah. Is that accurate?
It is. One of the things, though, just kind of pivoting back to maybe advice that I would give agents right now, and I think I kind of touched on it earlier, it's just like learning new things. Like one of the things that I don't know if a lot of agents know, like about assumables, like that's my big thing these days. It's like assumable mortgages. I think they are going to become, we've got so many properties right now, homeowners sitting out there with mortgages that are under 4%. And when prevailing rates are closer to 6, being able to communicate to buyers that, hey, like we could go out and look for an assumable, like, and if it's the right scenario, we can get you into a property. Obviously the seller needs to agree to allow you to assume their mortgage, but most of them don't care because they just want their money. And we could get you into a property, at a 3.75 interest rate. I just helped a seller sell their property, and we marketed it specifically as an assumable because she had a 2.875 interest rate. That's gold. That's gold. So, so again, around like kind of learning new things, I had never done an assumable because we've never been in a market where we've had this disparity between the pool of properties with existing mortgages and the average rate of those and prevailing rates. So that's nothing that's never, I mean, I've always known it could be done, but I never really thought of it as a strategy. But now it could be a strategy, like market to those people that want to sell their house and they don't even know they've got gold because the gold is in the 2.9% interest rate. So I don't know, a little tidbit for agents to maybe go and learn and leverage that.
So good again, so good. We have a trend here today. Well, Aimee, we really appreciate you joining us today. It's been amazing. I have so many gold nuggets, as I like to call them, that I'm going to implement in my own business. And I think that other person leaders, I'm sure, are feeling the same way and have learned so much from you. But before we sign off, we need to have Jeff do our recharge room so that we can all recharge our batteries and continue to have amazing week and efficiency.
That's right. So Aimee, we do this little thing and try to give some idea to get people more energy and happiness in their life. So this is what I've been doing lately. So after I eat dinner, I've been doing this intermittent fasting and makes me feel pretty good, right? My gut health needs to be better, but I still have a tendency to eat a little bit more than I should at dinner. So instead of going straight to the couch, which I used to do and watch TV, now I go on a long walk, and all the Italians say you should go on a walk after you eat, right?
Love it.
So that's my broker recharge idea today. After you eat dinner, I want y'all to go out and have a nice walk. If you have a dog or whatever, pet, go do that. Or, your significant other and spend some time talking because honestly, guys, we spend more time paying attention to this than we do people.
I know.
I mean, so who are we really paying attention to in our lives, right? So that's something to think about. Is it this or people?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. Aimee, what a blessing. Thank you. Aimee Burrell, how do they get a hold of you across the country, Aimee, if they ever want to connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm on social media. I mean, if you just want to connect via social media, just at Aimee Burrell. So they'll see, obviously, probably my name on the screen. Or elpisrealestate.com is our website. I would love, if anybody has questions, particularly like ideas or wants to brainstorm on like AI stuff, I'm super excited about that and passionate and would love to collab.
Yeah, she's super smart and she's also super healthy. In fact, one of the things I love about Aimee, just on a side note, is she's in the gym and the girl can get it done. She gets it done in the gym.
I'm working back up to that, but I found weightlifting like late in my life. It's my golf. I don't play golf, but it's like weightlifting is my golf.
That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
awesome. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here today, Amy. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Amy,
All right.
thanks, Jess.